Hello all again. It's Alan. I'm mucking around back on the plotter project after I finally got the linear bearings that I wanted for the pen axis, and so I just mocked together this, which is a bit simpler and easier than the last thing I had. Basically, there's the bearing on its rail there, screwed to a bit of perspex, which I'll probably just replace this with aluminium at some point. The servo will have a piece of monofilament or something that will come down to this plate, and it will pull against the spring, which the spring here provides the pen tension, and that's adjustable by moving this element up to put more tension on the spring. I've got two springs in there at the moment just to give it a lot of throw, but arguably I could take one of these springs out and move the tensioner up to that point there. I'll just get less throw. At the moment, the rod's smacking into the stepper motor bolt anyway, so I could change that to a countersunk bolt, or a screw, sorry, and get more throw. But I mean, that's plenty of throw for a pen. I mean, realistically, that's pen down. Yeah, pen up really only needs to be about here, so that should be plenty. And with the adjustable tension, I should be able to adjust the weight on the ball, or the felt tip pen, or whatever I use as the plotting element, and that should be quite well. I've got a 3D printed pen holder which will go on here. So yeah, the only kind of thing I don't like with this design is the fact that the pen is always down. It has to be electrically pulled up. So when you turn the plotter off, it'll go boink, which means you just got to be always aware that the pen is down on the paper when you turn it off. It means you got to lift it up to put the cap back on, or stuff like that. I guess that's a small price to pay for the simplicity. It's much easier to, rather than direct drive the axis and then spring load the pen itself. I think this is much easier. The monofilament will be untensioned when it's in drawing mode. It's all purely on the spring, so if there's a difference in the height of the first surface, the pen will have a little bit of tension on it, and will just go up and down on the surface. And then when you want to pen up, the actual monofilament will tension up and pull it up and hold it until it needs to be penned down again. So basically, you kind of want this to be sort of floating, not all the way at the bottom. It should be just about there when the pen's touching, so you can just tension up the ball. And that means the monofilament will be slightly slack, just taking up as the pen moves up and down on the surface. But when it's actually a pen up movement, this will wind up the filament and pull it up. So I think that'll work quite well. I mean, it's all not square and whatever. I was just screwing things together and hand drilling. But I think all in all, this should work. I've only got these long 2.5mm bolts to go into this truck, and unfortunately I don't really want to cut them down. So I just put some nut spacers underneath to sort of give a bit of height, and take up some of the slack in the actual bolt. So I'll probably try and go down the road or order online some 2.5mm machine screws. Same as I've got a couple of self tappers. So I've got 4 self tappers in the actual axis, which you can sort of see through there. Obviously this piece of perspex was used for the last pen mechanism, which was, well, it worked, but it was kind of complicated, and the main thing is the pen could twist, whereas this linear rail or linear bearing, other than me actually flexing this perspex, is rock solid, so there's no twist or bend, so which means the pen should be quite sturdy. Anyway, I think that's long enough to be talking about a piece of plastic and a bearing. Yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon.